I thought long and hard about whether I would share this update, but if it can be relatable to anybody or help anybody, then I think it is good for me to share. So we're about to get vulnerable. I'm also going to do my makeup while I share this because I have some other videos to film today. The video that this is under, I recorded on Sunday, and at that point I had one iron infusion last week, and then I had 2 scheduled for this week. If I talk too much about the symptoms that I've been having, I will get really, really frustrated and probably cry, so I'm going to lightly brush over that. But in summary, I will just say the quality of life increase that these infusions give me is like indescribable, and insurance has made it almost impossible for me to get them. I've had these infusions scheduled for a couple months now, and between the time that the infusions were scheduled and actually getting the infusions, I had a change of insurance. Without boring you with all the details, I was switched to a policy that I was promised would cover these infusions that I need. I got my first test dose last week because the last time I got an iron infusion was 6 years ago, and the treatment then was 1 dose, and it was only 30 minutes, and you only had to do the 1. And since then, insurance has changed and they no longer cover that kind of iron. So now you have to do multiple doses, and it tends to be a little harder on your body. So the first dose is just 15 minutes of medicine, and then they monitor you for 30 minutes to make sure that you're tolerating it well before you come back and do 2 hours of medicine twice. So I did that last week. I did that first 15-minute dose. I also have an amazing support system who went with me, and everything went well. And so we scheduled, as in me and my provider, scheduled the next 2 doses for this week. Well, yesterday I got to the infusion center. My infusion was scheduled for pretty early in the morning. One of my friends took off work. You want to help me? To be there with me, and she moved heaven and earth to be there with me. I mean, my support system is amazing. They are truly so amazing. But she made it possible to go with me, and we were sitting in the infusion center. They had the IV stuff open, ready to get started, when another nurse walked up and said, "By any chance, has your insurance changed?" Yes, it's changed, but no worries. My broker pretty much promised me that this new policy would cover these infusions. That's why I went with this particular plan. They were great. They did their due diligence, and they said, before we get started, let's just double check. And they left me sitting there for what felt like 3 hours. In reality, it was like 45 minutes, but I'm sitting there in the infusion center with my friend who took off work. I'm nervous already to be there, and I'm just sitting there waiting to find out what happens. And then a nurse walks back up to me and says, "Bad news. Your current policy does not cover these infusions." I'll be real, y'all. I started crying. I was so frustrated. I mean, the runaround for getting this treatment that will make me feel so much better has been absolutely, I mean, I bought a new policy just to have these infusions covered, and that policy cost me more money. And so to pay more for fewer benefits while I'm there, and I find this out literally seconds before my treatment started, it was bad. As it turns out, the policy that I was sold to cover these infusions does cover infusions, but not with my provider, the provider that I've been seeing since I was 16 years old. I'm 26 now. Why on earth I was not informed of that when I bought the policy, I will never know. But now here I am paying more money for a policy that my current provider is not in network for, and I'm in the middle of a treatment cycle. Like, I got the first dose, and now I'm waiting for the second and third doses, and the only way I can get my medicine at the place where I got the first one with my provider that I've been seeing for 10 years is if I pay for it out of pocket. To buy insurance and then go through all of this just to be told the only way you can get treatment here with your provider is if you pay for it out of pocket. My other option is to go to a new clinic that is in network for my current insurance policy. But to do that, I would have to become a new patient. And then we have to pretty much start over. Even with a referral from my current provider, we have to start over a lot of this process, which is going to delay treatment by weeks, possibly months. And like, not good. But I feel bad now. And I felt bad And it has taken me all this time to get here. Like, I was in the infusion center, I had it scheduled. And what came between me and the health care that I needed was an insurance policy that I was told would cover it. So going back to figuring out all my options, I was on the phone with the hospital probably like 30 minutes ago, and I was asking, okay, out of curiosity, if I were to self-pay to stay with a provider who has all my records, who's known me since I was 16, and I'm very comfortable with the nurses and the staff there, how much would it cost me out of pocket to get this medical treatment? It's $1,600 per dose, and I'm supposed to get 2 of them. So now the thing standing in between me and the treatment that I need at my current provider's office is about $3,200. Or if I were to move to a new clinic that my insurance took, I could wait anywhere from 2 to 6 months for the treatment that I need. And honestly, right now in this moment, I don't have an answer. I don't know what I'm going to do because I don't have $3,200, to be honest. But at the same time, like, I also don't have another 2 to 6 months to feel this bad. I mean, it has affected my ability to do work because I'm so exhausted all the time and my legs hurt because of the muscle cramps. And it's just, I don't know, it's incredibly frustrated. And I'm sharing this now because I am quite sure I am not the first person who has run into something like this. And I'm surely not the first person who has had insurance or money stand between them and healthcare. And if I can be anything on this app, I want to be relatable and share something that makes somebody else feel a little less alone, because I will be so honest. Yesterday, sitting at that clinic and on the phone with my insurance company and on the phone with the broker and on the phone with the hospital yesterday and today, I felt stupid and alone because I was like, how could this happen? How could I possibly have purchased a policy and then it not even do what it's supposed to do? Am I so stupid for paying more money for less benefits? Like, how can I be that dumb? And I've been assured by my parents that this system is set up to be anything but transparent, anything but easy. And I'm probably not the first person to feel like this. So if you have been through something like this, you are not alone, because I felt incredibly alone yesterday and today, but you're not alone. And it sucks, dude. As of right now, I still have my appointment scheduled for tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning, to get was supposed to be 3rd, but it would now be the 2nd dose of iron, and it's the first full dose that I would be getting, which means I would get to feel so much better. Probably in a few weeks. It takes a few weeks to really feel the effects, but if I'm going to keep that appointment, I have to come up with $1,600 between now and then. And I'm not sure how I would do that, but I also thought I would never share anything like this. I don't like to be this frustrated, but this is authentic, and I want to be authentic on this app and not just show the happy-go-lucky side of rescue and animal fostering and even my life. And this is what is really authentically happening right now, and I thought it might be important to share.